Hey people, welcome back to my channel. Now, the 2026-2027 Premier League fixtures are officially out, right? It was released this morning, and already in match day one, we are already seeing interesting fixtures. Now, Arsenal will be looking to defend the title they won last season after 22 years, and I don't know if I should say the first game is in their favor. But one thing I must point out that I'm going to be looking at some of the fixtures for the top 6 teams. And I'm talking of Arsenal, Man City, Manchester United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham, which are the 6 big teams to me, right? And, just the fact that 5 out of these 6 teams have already changed coaches, or should I say manager, is going to make the 2026-27 season interesting. Now, the only team that is yet to change a manager is Arsenal, obviously. That's Mikel Arteta still in charge. He has been in charge for over 6 years. And, he eventually did win the Premier League after trying, 3-4 times in a row, finishing second. And yeah, it was a big deal. It was a big, big deal for Arsenal. It was really, really celebrated. And yeah, best of luck to them come next season. However, for the other 5 teams, Chelsea have now signed Xabi Alonso as the new head coach. Man City has taken on Enzo Maresca. And then Liverpool sacked Arne Slot at the end of the season to bring on Andoni Iraola from Bournemouth, right? And then Tottenham obviously still has Robert De Zerbi, who they brought in a month to the end of the season last season, and it was somehow able to get them to avoid relegation. Now, and of course, Manchester United still having Michael Carrick, who was the interim manager, now their full-time manager. So it's going to be quite interesting. As I said, next season is going to be really, really interesting. No Pep Guardiola anymore, and maybe other teams now know that they have a chance of winning the Premier League title. It makes it a level playing field, right? Everybody's now going to fight for it. It's not going to be, Pep has an upper hand because, yes, he has done it so many times. Or it's not going to be a case of Liverpool doing it, 2 seasons ago before Arsenal did it last season. So, yeah, it's going to make it even more interesting to see what the 2026-27 Premier League season is all about. Now, let's just go straight into the games. Or let me say the top 5 games, right? Or the first 5 games that will be played by these 6 teams come next season. Of course, we are going to be starting off with the champions, the defending champions, Arsenal, right? And they're going to be taking Coventry. Before I even start off with the teams, don't forget that 3 new teams from the championship have come into the Premier League. They've been promoted into the Premier League. It is Ipswich making a return to the Premier League after they were relegated in the 2024-25 season. Coventry are coming back into the Premier League, I think, after a long, long time, about almost maybe 15 years. And then Hull City also coming back into the Premier League. I think they came into the Premier League recently, about maybe just a few years ago. And yeah, they're back. So it is back to the Premier League for Hull City, Coventry, and of course, Ipswich Town. Now, let's just go into the first 5 fixtures for the big teams. Arsenal, as I said, is going to be taking on Coventry. I think that's obviously going to be an easy game, right? And they're obviously going to be playing at home. So that should definitely make it an easy start for the defending champions, right? Aston Villa in their second game, Chelsea, and that's a London derby, North London derby in that one before they take on Sunderland and Brighton. And then to Chelsea, unfortunately, we will not be playing the Champions League or the Europa League or Europa Conference League. They are not qualified for any European competition. All they have to now focus on is the Premier League, EFL, and the FA Cup, which means basically they'll probably maybe be playing 1 game a week. If they lose out of the FA Cup and the EFL Cup early. But, regardless, they now have a chance of winning the Premier League again. Because Arsenal that are going to be playing the Champions League, playing the EFL, playing the Premier League, and of course, the FA Cup That's a lot more work for them. And they have the players and the quality to be able to play that number of games. But Chelsea, on the other hand, they just have to focus now on the Premier League. So hopefully they're able to get it done. But they're going to be taking on Fulham. That's already a London derby in their first game. And the second game will see them take on Brighton. Arsenal in the third game, another London derby, before taking on Hull City, one of the newly promoted side, and then Brentford in another London derby. So, does it get any difficult for Chelsea than that? I don't think it can get any worse. Maybe aside from their last few games towards the end of the season, which for some weird reason, they always have difficult starts and difficult games to the end of the season. But yeah, they have 3 London derbies in 5 games to play, starting off with the season. Chelsea, the Lord is their strength. And then Enzo Maresca's Manchester City will be taking on Bournemouth. Now, if you remember last season, Man City had to hope that they could beat Bournemouth to pile the pressure till the end of the season against Arsenal. Unfortunately, Bournemouth said, no, we are not bothered about that. We are looking to play in European competition. So we don't care what you and Arsenal have going. We are just bothered about ourselves. And what happened? The match ended in a draw. And is it not funny that Man City is going to be playing Bournemouth in the first game of the season? Thank you, Premier League. So they're going to be taking up Bournemouth first. Now, don't forget that Anthony Raiola will not be taking charge of this Bournemouth team, right? So we don't know. I don't think they've announced. I'm not sure if they've announced the new head coach yet, but yeah, let's see what happens in that game. And then they'll also be taking on Coventry City, who is also one of the newly promoted side to the Premier League. Leeds United, that game will not be easy for Manchester City, trust me. And then Manchester United, that will obviously be a Manchester derby. It's not going to be easy. They'll be taking on Michael Carrick's Manchester United, and then Newcastle United for their first 5 games in the Premier League. For Manchester United, that is going to see Michael Carrick in charge as the full, manager, not interim manager, the permanent manager for now. We'll have Hull City in their first game. Yeah, I think that should be an easy game. Ipswich, Everton, Manchester City, and Fulham. Now, they're going to be playing 2 of the newly promoted sides in their first 5 games, Ipswich and Hull City. Manchester City will make it maybe one of the difficult games, but I think they should be able to, probably get a draw in that game against Man City, but you never can tell what will happen because Michael Carrick has somehow had very good results against the top 5 teams, especially last season, when he took charge from January. So let's see if he can continue that momentum going forward. But yeah, those are their top or their first 5 fixtures into the 2026-2027 season. And then to Liverpool, and the Slot is no longer in charge. They now have Anthony Raiola in charge, of Liverpool. And it's going to be quite interesting to see how he manages the squad, right? And the first fixture is going to be against Newcastle United. They'll take on Crystal Palace in their second game. The third game is going to be Nottingham Forest, Everton as their 4th game, and then Aston Villa as their 5th game, making up the top of the first 5 games that they'll be taking on in the new season. Now, I don't know if I should say it's going to be easy, because looking at these teams, they are not easy teams. Nottingham Forest is not an easy team. Aston Villa having Emery still in charge is not going to be easy. Maybe Crystal Palace, now that they don't have any European competition to play for, it might be a little bit easy for them, but I don't know what to make of this. But let's just see how they'll handle it. Because as I said, Anthony Raiola is going to be taking charge. Hopefully he gets enough time with them in the preseason to see how the season is going to turn out. But let's go to the final team, which is Tottenham Hotspur, right? Their first game is going to be a London derby. It's going to be against Brentford. And then they take on West Ham, another London derby. Wow. Then Crystal Palace, that is sort of another derby, but it's not going to be as big or as pronounced as obviously the one against West Ham and Brentford. And then their first game is going to be against Liverpool, and their final game against newly promoted side Ipswich Town. Now, when I look at the fact that Robert De Zerbi is going to be taking charge of this team, he did so well to get Tottenham not to be relegated last season. And it was a big job, or a big ask of him. And I think Tottenham owners knew he was the one person that could get it done. Because Robert De Zerbi already has the Premier League experience. And then them just really trusting him to take charge of their last, I think, was it 5 games or 6 games, not to get them relegated. It was a big ask. And he got the job done. And I'm sure that the Tottenham fans will have that huge belief in him that he can really get them far coming into the new season. But looking at the first 5 games of all these top 6 teams, I would say that maybe Manchester United has it easier, right? I think Manchester United has it easier. You know, playing 2 of the top 5 games against newly promoted side, having Man City as maybe one of their top games, and then maybe after that you can say Arsenal having Coventry City, and then Brighton that they can always play against. Yeah, I would say yes. Maybe Manchester United has it easier, right? And hopefully they can continue the momentum that they built up from, you know, when Michael Carrick took charge as interim manager last season. But for me, I just think that the games are going to be interesting. I'm just looking forward to the Premier League season. Even though we are enjoying the FIFA World Cup right now, man, it is hot and steamy. If you are not watching the World Cup, I don't know what you are watching. I honestly don't know what you are watching. But yes, the Premier League fixtures for the next season is out. And tell me what you think, right? Tell me what you think of the first 5 games of the top at least 6 teams that I've just read out to you. If you think Arsenal can continue the momentum, or you think that Chelsea has a chance, you know, to win the Premier League, looking at they don't have any European competition to look forward to. And maybe also Tottenham, because of the top 5 teams, as I said, it's only 4 out of them that are going to be fighting for Champions League. Arsenal, Liverpool, Man City, and Manchester United. The other 2, Chelsea and Tottenham, yeah, they just have to play their Premier League games and watch what the other teams do in European competition. Yeah, as I said, share your thoughts in the comment section and let me know what you think. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And then ensure to put on your post notification button to get our latest video when they drop. But please follow us on all our social media platforms where we drop, as in things are dropping every day. If you are not following us, I don't know what the problem is. So please follow us on all our social media platforms at _official FSH. Until I come your way again, I'll be reading your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to share that, okay? Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.